Hey everyone, I am here with Kellie Middleton. Hey Kellie,
Hi there.
how you doing?
Good. How are you, Jennifer?
I'm doing good. So Kellie is with the Jeff Johnson Group from Keller Williams out of Minneapolis. And we were going to talk today about how to ask for a referral from your sphere. Because it's like it can be a little bit intimidating, especially as like a new agent or newer agent or somebody who just hasn't asked, oh, have only gotten business from people that they don't know. So how do you do it, Kellie?
So I do it a few different ways. I actually wrote down a few different main ways that are, that have worked for me at least.
Okay.
But really, so I was recently married. So last year, 2020, so I was fortunate to have a really updated address list.
That's awesome.
Right?
That's perfect.
Yes, for all of the invites. So, first and foremost, it's really, really important to like have updated information, right? So just make sure that you like go through all your contacts and just make sure you've got like a really good list of people. If it's just phone number, fine, or
Right.
email or whatever. But I was fortunate to have everyone's address too, so I could
That's perfect.
little things. But yeah, so first and foremost, but I mean, really, I think it's about making it personal. So I know that sometimes it can be a little awkward if you're calling your aunt or you're calling your
Right.
friend that you haven't spoken to in quite a while. But really, especially if you're a brand new agent, or getting started, I think it's kind of more of a natural conversation that you would have than just
Hmm.
saying, hey, this is what I'm doing with my life, right now.
Right.
So really that's kind of more of a natural conversation that you could have with people. But really, I think first just give them a call.
Yeah.
It's kind of a hard hump to get over, just because if you're starting out and if you don't really have a huge sales background,
Hmm.
that can be a huge hurdle too. And I come from sales. I've been in sales and recruiting for almost 10 years. So
Right.
it comes more naturally to me to just pick up the phone and call someone. So it doesn't come naturally to everyone, but I would say try and get over that hurdle and just have a natural conversation with someone and just be honest with them. Say, I am just starting out. This is something I just want to do, and give them a little detail about
Right.
your business and what you're doing. And they know you, so they would probably be okay
Well,
with having a conversation.
yeah, they'll be totally fine with it. I think too, if you like start off with maybe like some type of like announcement. So depending on your audience, right? It might be on social media or it may be like something, right? So then
Yeah.
you're like following up, like, hey, I'm not sure. I know it's been a while since we talked. I'm not sure if you saw my announcement, but I'm very excited that I just got my real estate license.
Right.
Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? And like just
exactly.
starting off like that, and I'm looking for, and I would be as like specific as possible, right? Like I am looking for sellers that, and it's specific to them. So like sellers that live like in their specific neighborhood or their specific area or where their kids go to school or like whatever.
Yeah.
Or if you have a buyer already that you're looking for, that's a good way too.
Yeah.
So like I have a buyer that's looking in whatever school district and I thought of you. Who do you know that's thinking about selling or whatever, like that?
Absolutely. And the other thing I thought of is it's okay to ask specifically, who do you know?
Yeah.
And when you're calling your sphere, and especially like I remember a phone call back when I was first starting that I I knew this person that was an old family friend,
Hmm.
and he was recently retired, but he started his own business from scratch, and just throughout the years he knows everyone. He's just one of
Everyone.
those people
Yeah.
that just knows everyone.
Hmm.
So I made it a point to say, listen, who do you know
Yeah.
right now that I could reach out to? And he was glad to give me names and
Of
information.
course, because he wants to help. And even if like if you have somebody like that in your sphere, it's even like, hey, I don't know if you saw my announcement. I'm so excited. I just got my real estate license. I immediately thought of you because you know everybody. You've owned your
Right.
own business. Like, do you have a minute to talk? I could really use some help. And they'll be
Hmm.
like yes or no or whatever. And then yeah, like ask them, like, you know everybody. I'd love to like get your business tips, and also who do you know that I can help sell a house? Or I mean, I would always focus on sellers, because like the thing is, I found when you're like asking for referrals, people automatically think about buyers,
Yeah.
but like, so mention the sellers
Yeah.
because they already are already thinking about buyers.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. One other thing that I thought of is handwritten notes. I know
Yeah.
that like sometimes that's super
It's lovely.
it is. Well, it is. And if you think like when you get your mail, what do
Yeah.
you pay attention to? And it's always those notes from, or like a birthday card or something
Yeah.
where you notice that the address is handwritten,
Yeah.
and you're gonna open that.
Yeah. For
So
sure.
yeah, so I know it can be kind of time consuming, but definitely that's something I did right away. Is I wrote
Perfect.
handwritten notes to everyone, and then I put in a couple business cards and just
Mhm.
like called it out in the note and just say, hey, I would really appreciate it if you passed along my information.
Right.
And they have it physically
Yeah.
to pass out. But I was gonna mention one other thing. So
Yeah.
I because I've been in sales for a while, this is something that I've been doing for a little while now, but I have an iPhone.
Okay.
And it's really, really easy to set up a digital business card on your phone.
Oh, nice.
To just like, email or text to
Yeah.
someone. So let's say you're in the grocery store and you just happen to like have a random conversation with someone, or
Mhm.
you're at the park with your kids or something, and they ask for your information instead of, physically handing them a card, or let's say, God forbid, you don't have one, handy. You can just text or email your digital business card right from your phone.
Do you know how to do it? How do you do it?
Yeah, so on my iPhone, it's under contacts.
Okay.
So you go under your contacts, and
Mhm.
then your name should pop up at the very top, right? So you have your own kind of contact, of course, already set up in your phone, but right under that it says my card.
Oh, okay.
And so I just click on that, and then you can edit at the top right hand corner. It's just an edit button, and
Mhm.
you can edit all of your information. So you put in your web address, your email, phone number, all that good stuff. And then at the bottom, you can share contact, and that'll
Oh,
bring up,
cool.
email, text, anything. So it's super, super easy.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great tip. I like it. But also, too, you made me think about the handwritten notes. We've been using send out cards. Do you know send out cards?
Yeah, I think so. What do you mean by that? Let's talk.
So what they are is like they look handwritten, but they're on the
Oh, yeah.
computer. Yeah, and you can like we have like a subscription to it. I think we have an affiliate code too if anybody wants it. You can just message me. But it's like where you can grab pictures like from Facebook like for their birthday. Like say they put up a super cute, I don't know, whatever, their kid's birthday or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like you see a picture that you know that they will want, then you can grab it, put it in the card, write something in it. But if you did like, let's say you wanted to start calling your sphere and you haven't been calling them. So you could do it like when you first started, like you suggested, and that could be like your announcement. You mail this to them. Or you can do it like celebrating your third anniversary as a realtor
Right.
or whatever, like whatever it is, but you can make something up as the reason to send out the card. And then that's what you're like following up on too, you know?
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's a good reminder too for agents who've been in the field for a while. I'm sure,
Yeah.
of course, you're trying to do as much lead generation as possible and getting new clients in the door. But I mean,
You're funny. Like, nobody lead generates, right? They should.
Right. But yeah, I mean, your sphere is you talk to these people all the time. So they're the
Right.
ones who have your back, and they're the ones who want to give out your information.
Right.
Usually.
Usually. Right. So like if they don't, like if you're not sure, right? Like the other question I find really helpful to ask is, would you feel comfortable referring me if you knew of somebody that was looking for a realtor? And you can tell by their response if they're really comfortable doing it or not. Because some people are not comfortable. They do not want to do business with their friends. And that's not because they don't believe in you. They just don't want to do business with people that they know. And that's okay, right? So that you can be like, okay, well, I can tell that that doesn't work for you, but can you do me a favor? I'm happy to refer them if you don't think they would be a good fit for me. But this way too, I can still make some money and match them with an agent that they're going to match better with. Would you be comfortable doing that? And most people are like, yes, like they would do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then that gives them, because there's so many posts I see that's like, oh, my friend used another agent or whatever. And it's like, well, you didn't do a good job of telling them the options, that they didn't have to use you if they didn't want to use you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Give them some options. I mean, at least be a resource for them.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So I know like one of the big hangups for people too is like, okay, so now I can do the intro call, but like now I want to call them again. What do I say?
I know it is really tricky. I mean, to constantly contact your sphere, because it is that awkward thing. Because like, let's be honest, how often do you really call your friends and talk to them over the phone?
Right.
You know, it's like we're texting constantly, or we're on social media, you know, saying whatever. But it is, at times it can be awkward to kind of get over that hump. But honestly, I think too that even if your conversation doesn't revolve around real estate, you know, it is.
That's all I talk about. So that's what it revolves around.
Of course, yeah. But like, too, depending on how close they are to you, obviously, you know, but like to be a friend and just to be top of mind too. Because it's like, hey, let's have a conversation, or even like call and say, hey, do you guys want to come over for a barbecue? Or like, we haven't seen each other in a long time. Let's get the kids together, or let's go to the dog park or whatever.
Like whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, just keep yourself at top of mind. So when, you know, someone does come to them and, hey, do you know anyone? They're like, oh yeah, actually, I just hung out with her the other night, you know? So
yeah, I think that's good. I would also recommend like because as people begin to do this, they'll start to realize that there's some people that are more connectors than others, right? And so like those connectors are really like your A people. And like you said, do you want to stay top of mind to them? So another trick that I like is setting up like a CMA, but only sending it to yourself, but of their neighborhood. So you can be like, girl, did you see your neighbor's house just whatever, right? So like you're creating the gossip about the topic. So then it's easier for you to be like asking them for a referral or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? Yeah. Or like, I just thought of you because of this, but like always like having it in there where your community, if they're your very like top, like at least once a month, if not more. Always communicating with them and like setting your reminders for yourself to be like, okay, what am I going to talk to? Like they're in your mind then. Like I need to call these 5 people this week or whatever, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And that's a good idea too, to like, I mean, not that you like constantly have to be like up on the CMA information on every single neighborhood at every single moment.
No, just like your A people, just to create conversation pieces. You know what I mean? Like, or like if you're in a Facebook group, like if they're on your Facebook like list, like your A list, right? Then you're seeing their crap, and you could be like, you know, maybe their kid played a soccer game and you have like a listing over there, or you have and maybe you could be like, hey, I saw your kid played on the soccer field. I have a house over there. What did you think about the field? Like, I'm getting questions about it, or like, whatever, right?
Totally conversation starters.
Yeah.
And even if you think of your sphere and your friends and whatever, and think about the different neighborhoods they live in and where you want to work. You know, if I have a few friends that live in some neighborhood in Minneapolis that I'm in that I really want to get into, you know, that's when you contact them more about their CMAs or about their neighborhoods.
I would be up their ass about it. Be like, you've got to get me in there. Right. We're having a party at your house. We're door knocking all your friends. I'm providing door prizes. Like, I'm gonna host it at your house.
Yeah, get ready.
Right. We're doing an open house. Even though you lived there for 5 years, we're doing it. I mean, especially now, that could be a good idea. Like, because COVID is over soon, right? Like that's what in different states or whatever. So it's like, well, you have like have an open house and call it that, and because we do that we used to do it for buyers. So when buyers, we would have a budget of like $500. They could invite like 30 of their friends or whatever, and we would pay to cater it. But at the same time, we would provide like 2 gift baskets, one for the adults and one for the kids. And so for the adults, we'd get the information, right? It's like their name, their phone number. If you want to be entered to win the door prize, you got to put the information in there. So now we have their information, and we got tons of leads out of it. But like, I love that idea. If there's a neighborhood that your friend lives in that you really want to live in, have like a COVID open house COVID party. You know what I mean? Right. Like, COVID's over. Yay.
Outdoor,
let's have a party.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or whatever. Yeah, I like it. Let's do it. It's perfect. I think the main point here that I want people to understand is, I like how you said, just go ahead and call them. Like, it's fine. They're your friends. They want to help you.
Yeah.
You know? So just freaking do it. And if you're like hesitant, then make your first call like your best friend, your mom, one of us, like someone who's going to be like, yeah, like, of course, like, you know, you're the best, you're the greatest. And then you'll get like momentum to make the second call, you know? And if you're not sure what to say, like, think about what's going on in their neighborhood. And chances are, especially in this market, that the prices have gone up. You know, maybe your friend bought 5 years ago, and the percent increase is like a 40 or 50, in some cases, 100% increase.
Absolutely. I mean, really just if conversation doesn't come as naturally to you, just make some talking points, just write them down before you call and say, hey, all right, I'm going to focus on this. Like, if conversation is tough, but I mean, honestly, try not to make it weird or awkward. You're just talking to someone you know, right? So try and have a natural conversation, you know, and those things will come up, you know. So,
or like, worst case scenario, be like, Kelly, as you know, I'm in real estate, and I just got, like, my coach challenged me to call my friends. This is super freaking awkward. You know, I'm awkward, but will you practice with me?
Right.
And they'll be like, sure. And then you'll be like, okay, Kelly, hey, and like, practice and role play with them and try it. But while you're doing that, you're actually asking them.
And I like that idea of like blaming your broker, like, hey, this is my goal. And
yeah, they said I'd win a prize if I got so many people to practice with me or whatever, you know, and like, I'll challenge you. Call me, call Kelly. We'll chat. We'll put a challenge on for you, depending on who, you know what I mean? Depending on what you need to do. It's great.
I love it.
It's some really good ideas. I hope people, like, you know, they stop feeling awkward and just freaking do it, especially now, you know, always to grow your business.
Yeah. Referrals are a huge part of your business. I mean, even before I started real estate, when I was just doing sales and recruiting, referrals was a huge percentage.
Yeah, it always is.
Yeah.
Well, and you can always ask, like, you know, thanks for helping me. Like, how can I help you? What are you working on?
Absolutely.
Because most of your friends are like you. So they're probably also business owners or whatever. They've got stuff going on too, you know? That's cool. Well, I really appreciate you being on. If people have a referral in Minneapolis, what is the best way to get a hold of you?
Awesome. So for sure, call or text. So my number is 952-836-8323. And then, of course, email is good too. So Kellie, and that's spelled Kellie at thejeffjohnsongroup.com.
Easy enough. Thanks a lot, Kellie. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on. So fun. Bye.